and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan.
Oh, hello.
And Ricardo.
Whoa, how you doing, man?
On morning radio.
Oh, yeah, here's the wolf here. Oh, woo, woo.
Let's get him back in his cage. Give him his rabies shots.
Ba-doing, ba-doing.
Crazy. We got Matt on soundboard
Someday we'll get a soundboard here.
A soundboard we can play obnoxious sounds into our listeners' ear holes.
That's kind of my goal.
Directly.
That's my dream.
I mean, more obnoxious than what we usually produce.
Well, we already have our voices, which are pretty obnoxious, but, you know.
I mean, I've been told that.
Step it to the next level.
The next.
Guys, I'm pretty much finished drinking my beer.
Yeah, I'm almost done mine too.
Normally, we've
Yeah,
just
me
opened
too.
our beers when we start this podcast.
So, first off, we're doing this remotely. So, you know.
Yeah, on a remote location. We're out in the desert. We're all camping together.
We're all camping. Well,
yeah, it's been very fun so far. Ethan played guitar a little bit earlier. We sang a song.
Kumbaya, I believe.
Yeah, it was really good. We're on Skype because circumstances prevented us from recording together tonight. So we're all going to record no matter what. We're going to get this podcast to you unless there's 2 conventions in a row, in which case then we do not do it. But
Yeah.
other than that, we
But
pretty much always do it.
When would that ever happen?
That would never happen.
Never.
2 in a row? That's crazy.
Should I mention the beers we're drinking?
Yeah, let's go ahead since we
Sure.
usually do that anyway. I went to the Japanese store today, and I got Koshihikari Echigo beer, which is made by Echigo, and it's a light beer. I would say it's kind of like a light wheat beer, lager of some kind, and it is pretty drinkable. It's like a pretty big bottle, and I have already mostly finished it because it's very tasty. It's just pretty, there's not much like crazy flavor to it, but it's good to drink.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Tastes nice. I would
I-
give it
I
a
am
4.
A 4? Damn.
No, a 3.
Oh, okay. You sure? Is that your final answer?
Change my mind. 2.
Phone a friend?
I hate it.
Okay.
5 stars.
Fair enough.
How about you, Rico?
I'm drinking also a Japanese beer, except it's not even brewed in Japan anymore. It is Kirin Ichiban. You can find it at literally any Japanese place that serves beer. So, funny story about this. I got this mainly because...
Or Albertsons.
What's up? Yes, exactly. I got this mainly because there was recently at my place of employment, there was an Asian night market, and they left about a week ago, and they left like a small wooden Kirin sign, and they were just
That's cool.
and they left it, and like it was still all wrapped up and stuff. It like had never been used, and it was just like
It's it has the logo on it or something.
yeah, it has the logo and some Japanese stuff. I don't know what it says. But anyway, somebody found it and they were like, well, we don't know who this belongs to, so do you want to just take it? And I was like, I'm going to take it. And so now it's hanging on my wall. And then I was just
Cool.
like, beer.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kirin. I should get some of that. So now it's just a constant advertisement
Advertising
in my room.
has worked.
Yep.
Nice. So now you're just always going to buy Kirin now, right?
Precisely.
Now on.
I am drinking Ballast Points Barmy because I have some of that still. So it's
Careful.
Yeah, exactly. It is a high
Watch
alcohol
out.
percentage, and I've almost finished it, and I'm feeling quite nice. So I think this is a perfect time to do a podcast. It is you know what? I actually don't know what it is. I guess it's a golden ale, but it has apricot and honey. But you can't taste either of those. You just taste the high alcohol content in the bottled version. On tap, it tastes much better. But it's still pretty good at bottle.
I feel like on tap it tastes much better is everything I've heard about Ballast Point.
Yeah, it's very true.
Since we've started, drinking nicer beers.
It's true.
Because I feel like, I don't know, I don't have a dislike of Ballast Point, but they are so expensive.
They are, and they're so much cheaper.
And some of their stuff I haven't been impressed. And I've got way cheaper beers that have been really nice.
Yeah, honestly, we need to go to the brewery at some
everything
point.
else, it says everyone always says oh, this is not as good as when it had it on tap. And for other beers, I'm like, yeah, this. I mean, it's not. Yeah, sure, everything on tap is always better, but The bottled one sometimes for other beers is fine. Ballast Point is weird. That's what I'm saying.
Do they have one? Didn't they just recently open one near us, like a
Long
satellite
Beach.
location?
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
Oh.
Someone told me
Yeah,
it was
I've heard
bad.
it wasn't as great, but I mean,
But it's
It
either
might be-
that
it
or
might
go
be-
to
but it
San
might have been-
Diego.
it might be its
have been
growing
just 'cause
pains.
it might have been just because it just opened. You know what I mean?
A lot of places have that, so. Anyway.
A lot of starting locations.
Enough.
There's also there's another one that opened up in Long Beach too, but I can't remember which one it was. Never mind.
So beers, what would you rate the Barmy, Ethan?
Oh, it's totally like a 4.
Yeah, I would say
Solid
that's
4.
fair.
By the way, my official one is a 3 as of the.
I would give it less just because I might give it like 3.5 just because it's so damn expensive. It's seriously like
No halves.
It's like $16 freaking dollars.
For a 6-pack.
Yeah, which is
what-
ridiculous.
Which one is the Barmy again? Is that one actually is that an IPA?
No, it's a golden.
Gold. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
It's so much.
I don't understand. Like there are places that are further away. Like I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to figure like what is it about Ballast Point? Is it because is
It's
it
just
just
they
their
can.
name?
They just
Is it
can.
just their name?
It has
That's
to be a name recognition thing at this
Yeah.
point. Like I
They
feel
totally
like
just can do it.
There are beers that are just as good elsewhere that are so much cheaper.
yeah, like I feel like Stone is kind of similar in that I think they charge a little bit more for their beers than probably necessary because it's like such a recognizable name at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
as
even-
a
but
business
even they are
person,
noticeably cheaper.
you could just say like, you know, people buy it, might as
Yeah.
well charge it.
I guess that's the Budweiser
You're
model
right.
too.
Yeah. What about you,
Uh,
Rico?
And
What's your rating on Kieran?
Karen's like a 3. Like it's
Yeah.
it's probably
Yeah.
actually more edging towards like the 2.5 section, but it's
Totally, but it's totally drinkable.
yeah, it's fine.
It was really
I-
nice that day. What did we do? We had Sapporo when it was like super hot after moving.
Yeah.
Because I recently moved houses.
Yeah, Sapporo's a great
Um,
just drinkable.
It's just so like when it's nice and cold and you just drink it after
And
a long day. It's like
and it's way
nothing's
better than like like it is that style of like light lager, but it's way better than like any kind of Bud Light or Coors or anything.
Oh yeah, no. I think I put it in the same section as Stella or something like that.
For sure. I mean, that's the weird thing about those ones. There's only Asahi is still made in Japan, but when I went to speaking of which, because I went to the Japanese store today, and that's where I got this one. They literally have just like rows and rows of Kirin, Sapporo, and then like some Asahi, and those are like the only things they really sell. And then there's like 1 or 2 bottles of like this is a craft beer, but like just like single bottles, no,
Yeah.
like
No
packs,
actual 6-packs.
because in Japan, those 3 kind of reign supreme, and 2 of them aren't even Japanese anymore. So weird.
I wonder if the ones in Japan are actually made in Japan.
I don't know.
They might be. It might
I
be just
think
easier.
I thought production had completely moved over, but
I don't know.
Sapporo is still a city in Japan, so who knows if they still have their.
Do you think they serve Sapporo in Sapporo?
No, that's the one place it's actually illegal.
Ah!
All right, guys, that's actually one of our longest conversations about beer. I mean, we had 3 different ones.
It's true.
So, guys,
Video games.
video games came out. I don't know if people heard the news, but there's this game called No Man's Sky that came out.
It did.
We talked about it briefly last week because it was just on the verge of coming out, and now
It's so out.
and it's
It's
out
so
on all
out.
the platforms as opposed to just one of the platforms like last week. So hot takes. Let's hear them because I have the PC version. Ricardo has the
PS4.
PS4 version, and Ethan, I since you put it down on your list, I guess you must have snuck in some time playing it on my account because I didn't see you playing it, but I guess you did.
I did.
Oh man, so we've all played it.
Not oh man, no man.
And
Sky. Whoa, morning zoo.
so everybody, it's all over the internet right now. This game has some problems.
This game. This game
it-
is. It's all right.
It's fun. I like it,
something.
but it is not. I do not at all think it is perfect whatsoever. Where should we begin? Like, there's a lot to go over here?
I'm not actually sure where to begin. I mean, it's much like the game itself.
It's
like,
infinite.
It's like, how do you
Yeah.
actually even talk about this thing?
Well, let's just go over our individual experiences. I think, Ricardo, you were the first one to actually buy the game and play it. I had it on pre-order for PC. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but for now, you go on ahead and how did your experience start with No Man's Sky?
Okay, my initial experience with No Man's Sky was actually, I did not like this game when I first started up. I was dropped on a planet in which I got out of my ship, and immediately my shielding started going down because the planet was hot, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. Okay, there's this guy here, this Atlas thing. It says, it's asking me if I want to accept this guidance. I'm like, yeah, let's go. You need to teach me how to play this game. And then he didn't say anything. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if the game glitched on me or something, or if there's a possibility that I'm not. So what is Atlas supposed to do? What is he supposed to do for you?
So did you get any tutorial at all about you should craft this next or something like that?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I got the kind of mission progression sort of thing, but I just thought that was just part of the game. It didn't really tell me.
I'm pretty sure
how
that
to do stuff.
I'm pretty sure that is whether or not you accept the Atlas thing. So the Atlas thing, all that actually is that when you go to warp to a new system, there's a guide line in place that says this is the fastest way to the center of the universe. If you're going for that,
okay,
this is the next planet in that line. Or you can also, even if you accept the Atlas guidelines, you can still choose another option, or still choose to free roam and just go wherever you want.
But I mean, that kind of was my early biggest problem with No Man's Sky. I felt like I was having a real tough time fighting with the UI. I think the UI is kind of shitty in this game, honestly. So I was just constantly trying to figure out where to slot things, and then I didn't know for the longest time how you were supposed to craft stuff. What's up?
You were on the starting planet for a while, right?
Yeah,
I
was.
remember talking to you the next day, and you were like, "When I get off this starting planet, I'm like, man."
I went
by the time you said that, I was already off my starting planet.
I went
and you had a 24-hour head
top
start.
to bottom of this damn stupid planet that I was on, and found some animals. There's a big cat with a iguana's head, so I called it an iguanar. And then there was another one that had kind of a similar body, but
I see you've been following my naming scheme, a similar naming scheme to myself.
And then he had a hyena face, so I called him Buff Hyena. And my first planet was also very hot and red tinged, so I named it Hot Cheeto. And then I finally after 2 days, so it probably ended up being only about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I finally got off the damn planet. Went to the moon nearby, and now it's hey, you remember how that last thing was really hot? This is really cold. So it's going to be basically the same mechanic, but it's going to be cold instead. So I named that planet Cooler Ranch. And then I just actually got over to a toxic planet, which I called Taki, because I was like, what burns your mouth and is acidic and is really acerbic when you eat it? Takis are. So that's what I'm gonna name it, Taki. My main problem with No Man's Sky right now is it just feels really boring. It's just, I don't know. It's really
my main problem is it's just not good.
The issue I have with it right now is it's just I'm seeing the loop that it's going in, and I'm just I don't find this super duper interesting. I don't really necessarily want to spend a ton of time on these planets, because there's just not. They all look. They so far have looked very similar, and I think the way they've. I just built a warp drive, so actually, I'm actually glad that I played this for another hour right before this podcast, because I made a lot of headway, and I'm all right, this is actually starting to become. I can see where this is gonna maybe could become interesting.
Yeah.
Because like now I'm just jetting around planets, kind of just getting what I need, and then I built a warp cell, so now I'm just gonna get the hell out of there because I don't need. Except that I did feel the need to like explore the last planet in there, so that's what happened right now. Is I landed on it, and it literally was just called Dead Planet, and I was like, oh.
So someone's already been there.
I don't know if they've already been there or if that's just weirdly.
The names that they randomly generate are very obvious.
Yeah.
Like,
they're all they're all pretty unpronounceable, but yeah. So it was just called Dead Planet, and it was like fauna, like not much, and it's like flora is like minimal. So I was like, oh well, this might not be that interesting, but it was interesting to see because there was water sources and stuff like that. But
I will say this, that I would encourage you that if something on a planet or a whole system even seems boring, just go and move on, because I am the sort of person who wants to try and complete everything in an open world game, and that's why I don't play a lot of open world games, because I get like sidetracked so much that I get bored of everything. And I think I learned quickly, and also just from a combination of just watching some stuff ahead of time and kind of what my own experience with the game is like, if you just think, oh, this planet or this system is lame, just don't even bother exploring more than whatever you need to get the stuff you need to get off of it again, and then get out of there. Because I had a similar starting experience to you of like the first planet I was on was really cold, and then the next planet was radiation, and then the next planet was hot, and the last planet was cold. So all the planets in my starting system had some sort of environmental, basically, and they also looked really similar, with some slight variations. And it wasn't until I started jumping between systems that I started seeing some stuff that was a lot cooler, in my opinion. I don't disagree with any of your criticisms, though, and the criticisms that have been all over the internet of like that this game is really boring and repetitive, and it definitely is repetitive. It's just a matter of understanding that, knowing that, and then if you still can find fun out of the stuff that's weird in it, then great. If not, then totally it's not for you. I get it.
Like the Toxic Planet was actually surprisingly cool, because it was just like, it was the first time I ran into actually like hostile life on the planet. So I actually had to.
My first planet had that, and that was not fun.
That doesn't sound cool. Everybody was nice on my first planet, so I was like, all right, this
Same
is
here.
Cool. But yeah, I ran into like some, and it was actually like kind of scary, because it was just like I walked up to it, and it was like, what is this? Does this mean that it doesn't like me? And then it attacked me, and I was like, ah! So I changed my bolt caster, and I capped him up. Because then like his friend showed up, and I was like, oh, what the hell's going on here? I'm not used to this. I played this game for like 2.5 hours, like 3 hours, and haven't had to fire this bolt caster once. And then there was like bodies of water that actually had fish in them and stuff, and like there was like an underwater section that I went. So it was way more interesting than any other place I had ever been. But at the same time, I'm just like, my problem with it is it there's a lot of cool ideas. It just feels like it's in early access. It just feels like it's not finished, this game.
It definitely feels incomplete in a lot of ways, for sure. I would not disagree with that.
Ethan, you haven't gotten to say anything. What do you think of your experience with No Man's Sky so far?
Well, it's a game. You can play it. No, honestly,
well, can you though? Because let's just talk really quick.
Yeah,
about
the PC version is
broken.
Ass.
All to hell.
It runs like such garbage.
It is real
it's
bad.
Playable, but it's just like you totally know this is not optimized at all. Like it stutters everywhere. It janks up all over the place.
Yeah, it really, really does. And me and Ethan have pretty good computers. Like I wouldn't say like the highest end ever, but like
the thing is you can tell when the game's not optimized when you put on the lowest settings and it still runs like crap, and then you put on the highest settings, it runs the exact same. Yeah. Then you know the game is jacked up and it's like optimization.
Yeah, for sure. And I had some times today where like some people, we should say, have reported online like the game crashes at launch or is just completely unplayable in certain ways. Like And the PS4 version too is not free of like crashes and bugs.
Yeah, well, I mean, today I was on that Toxic Planet. I was zipping across the surface, and then all of a sudden the frame rate went to like single digits as the world struggled to generate itself as I was like zipping across the surface in my ship. And I was like,
oh god, that pop-in is so bad.
It's so bad.
Is so bad in this game.
And I've seen it. I've seen this happen. This happened twice to me today. Where like I've been playing the game and it's been not running great, but it's been running just totally fine. And then after about an hour or two of play, it just dropped down to where everything was running as if it was at like 5 frames a second. Like even the menus, like everything, the entire game slowed down. Like some sort of like some sort of memory leak had occurred, and the whole like all the processes had messed up. But I even like opened Task Manager and checked like is something running in the background or using up tons of like memory or CPU, and nothing was obvious. I quit the game and restart, and I'm in the exact same spot, and it runs just fine. And then it runs fine for several hours, but like it's something weird happened there where it just like after a few hours decided to like completely stop working.
Yeah, I mean, besides like the performance issues and stuff like that, I kind of like this game, but I also kind of don't. Like, there's just so many things I'm just like, you could have done this better. Like, I hate the inventory system. I think
that's what I was
aggressively
saying.
horrible.
Like, it's terrible. It's just the way you do everything in that is just clunky, and your stuff gets full, and it's just like I'm stressed out on how to do stuff.
Have you guys found how to increase your inventory size?
Well, I found like
really
a little. I found like a pod that gave me
Yes.
another slot in my backpack. I think I found a couple of those so far.
Yeah.
So that's your personal exosuit inventory. It'll increase that way.
Yes, yeah. And you can other spaceships that you find will be able to will
Other
have
spaceships
larger.
will give you better ones. Okay.
The little drop pods you find, if you find one of those places that has like a scanner on it, that you need like a bypass chip to use, it'll say like, oh, this will scan for. You can scan for monoliths. You can scan for colonial shelters, colonial outposts. If you ask to scan for shelter, there's like a 50-50 chance it will show you the way to a drop pod. And at least at the beginning of the game so far, every single drop pod has contained a exosuit upgrade. They increase in price every time you go to one, but they're still relatively cheap. And yeah, that's become essential because I've got like 20-something slots now in my inventory.
That sounds a lot better.
It's still bad. Don't get me wrong, but because the thing is, nothing stacks. Like,
no,
like
it doesn't stack properly. No.
Well, it you stack elements up to a certain amount, and your ship can, and I think your ship can stack them in a larger quantity than your exosuit can. But then anything that's like a standalone element, like a trading item,
all my Geknip charms and stuff,
they don't stack at all. They just sit there. And also, any upgrade that you apply to your suit, your weapons, your anything,
sucks.
They all take up an inventory slot, a complete inventory slot taken up for this upgrade. So I mean, that makes it really hard to like, try and outfit your character. And you have to constantly go into your inventory all the time.
Yep.
To manage all the crap that you're picking up.
That's why
all the time.
That's why I started to kind of just like, all right, if I can sell the thing for a price, I'm selling it. If I can use the thing to if I can get rid of this thing so that I can like reload my shielding or whatever, I'm just gonna use it because I need that inventory slot to get
basically
more
same.
thamium or whatever the hell.
Yeah, it's something that I don't find fun. Managing inventory is just not fun.
Oh, I don't know anyone who really finds that fun.
I don't know. My other issue is flying the ship feels like ass. It feels like butt ass. Like, it's so bad how bad the flight controls are, at least on PC. You can't remap them either.
No, on PS4, it just doesn't feel like it's flying right. Like, it doesn't
I definitely had moments where it's like going in a direction where I'm not pointing it for it to go here.
Yeah, I'm pushing down, and it's like, nope, I'm going up. What's up?
Not to mention, it's never like it's never clear how certain things work. Like when the first time I went still consistently, I go into the what is that one? It's like the super speedy mode in the pulse drive. Yeah, pulse drive, and I'll be nearing I'll be wanting to kind of stop, and I don't know how to stop, and I'm just careening towards this planet.
It automatically stops when you get near a planet.
Yeah,
or a space station.
I started figuring that out, but it didn't stop me from like having like a weird mini panic attack like 3 times now when it was like, do I want to stop? This is where I need to stop, and then it's like, oh, I'm stopped. All right,
you can stop that by hitting the brake button, which is L2 on the controller. I'm playing with a controller, even though I'm playing on PC, because it's a kind of game where I'm not. It's not.
Yeah,
an action
I might
game.
want to try using a controller because I was just using a mouse and keyboard, and I think the flight is so bad, so I might switch to a controller just to try it out. See if that helps, because that freaking flight control's so bad.
But see, I mean, that's the thing is, like, again, like, I feel like the way it's mapped on a controller is not necessarily intuitive either. Like, I think, like, typically you think that use a right stick to maybe, like, control, like, the pitch and stuff, and then the left stick to control, like, lift and stuff, but none of it behaves, like, the way you would think, so you're just kind of, like... It's just odd. It's just odd the way that it controls. I think my other big problem right now is just that I see the seams too much where things are like randomly generated, like like that video that we just watched about the No Man's Sky. If you people have probably already seen this video where it's it like shows the crazy brontosaurus things that were in the trailer, and then it shows like something that they found, and it's like a weird like cat body with a tyrannosaurus head, and it's like strutting on 2 feet, like it looks,
really awkwardly.
Yeah, really awkwardly. So
and I don't know if you guys have experienced this too, but like that trailer shows like 10 different animals in the space of like 30 feet. I have found like, if I find a group of animals, I'm lucky if there's like 5, but usually
I find
it's
like 2
1.
species.
Yeah,
I find like 2 species at max, but I've seen some pretty big packs before.
Really? Oh, man, I have not seen anything nearly that varied. Like, everything is like the same size, the same, like, a bunch of like cat-shaped things.
I've met quite a few like giant animals, surprisingly.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Actually today on the Toxic Planet, not only did I run into like a relatively big pack of maybe 6 or 7 of like these little guys, but I also ran into a couple of like really big things. And the thing is it was cool, and I was like, oh man, this is finally cool. And then I walked up to it, and like it reacted, of course, really jankily. And then I actually examined it, and I was like, well, this was just this back legs generated on this like upper body that I've already seen like before, like 5 times.
Like literally side by side, where like the 2 animals sitting right next to each other are almost identical, except for like this spinal, this headpiece was different.
Yeah,
on this one, like
I've had that too, where I honestly was like, wait, these aren't the same creatures? And it's like,
I thought they were at first. It's like, it gave me different scan points for them. I called one Mr. Beaky, because he had
yeah, see, that happened on my first planet too. Like, there were 2 weird, like, insectoid crab things floating next to each other, but they for some reason were different things, so I couldn't think of a good name, and I was annoyed at the game at that point too, so I just named one was Crab People, and the other one was Crab People 2. So
that's pretty good. So one thing I actually really do appreciate about this game is how it does reward you for naming stuff and uploading it. Like, I think that's really cool. That's really smart.
It's a cool. That part when it was first described ages and ages ago sounded cool, and it still is cool of being the first person to find a thing and being like, this is the name. So the first system that I was on, it is officially called, I don't know if the PC and the PS4 version is separate or not, but if someone finds it, let us know. It's called Pixel Legends System, and it's got 4 planets on it. It's Matagami, Hawks, Kikoming, and CHWM. Those are the 4 planets on the Pixel Legends System.
Nice.
And I'm putting that out there now. If anybody
so here's something weird. I'm playing off of Matt's account. Well, not off of his account, but I'm using the shared Steam thing. So this is a weird glitch that happens, is when I played, I started it, I named a planet, and then I logged off because I didn't like, I updated the graphics settings to make them not windowed mode. I wanted to be full screen. So I logged off, came back in, and it was like, loading you into, I named it Green Hills, because it's like Kirby, I don't know.
Yep.
And it logged in, it was like, Green Hills, discovered by Matt. And I'm like, oh man, what? I'm already at Me Games Planet? This is crazy. Like, he's right next door to me? That's insane. That must be some weird thing that no one's ever talked about. Like, if you're Steam friends, it'll, like, spawn you in. No, apparently anytime I log off, it counts my planets as discovered by you. That's really weird.
Sweet. I get a bunch of
Yeah, so now you got a bunch of extra planets. Congrats. It's really strange though. Like it says
weird,
my name until I log off.
Yeah, when we share other games, it says.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it says other stuff. That's super odd.
It's super weird to me that's like the only thing that holds over, and it's only when I log off. Like if I play the game, it'll be fine. So that's a weird little hiccup, but
something to do with the way Hello Games servers.
Maybe I mean because it's interesting though because it lets me see kind of how because I mean this game is so vast, it's hard to bump into even other people's discoveries. But it's let me see kind of how it reacts to finding someone else's discoveries, which is just kind of like, yo, this animal's crazy. It was discovered by Me Game. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I'm going to find all the other stuff that he didn't find, even though it was me that found this weird animal, giant brontosaurus thing. I don't know. It's a weird minor thing, but I don't know. This game has, like, I could totally see the, like you said, Ricardo, the procedurally generated stuff just being procedurally generated, and that was my biggest fear thinking about this game and how it would be, is that like everything would just look kind of generic, all kind of the same. There might be slight variations, but like everything's similar. I have noticed that since I jumped to the next system, since I got the warp drive,
how far have you gotten?
I've only jumped one system.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that like things do change pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
But it's still like the animals are still very samey looking. It's very similar.
I've not found a ton of variation in the animals. I did find this cool looking insect thing. It was pretty small, but it looked like a Strider from Half-Life 2.
I found an insect that was like
a Strider.
Weird, it was a weird buzzy
like,
brain looking thing with like wings and stuff. It looked pretty cool. But I don't know. It's very. The thing I will say about this game is it's super relaxing to play. You can just kind of chill out and just kind of like, despite
listen to a podcast.
Listen to a podcast, do something else. Because the survival aspects of the game are pretty forgiving as long as you're kind of like aware of what's going on.
It's just like I said about survival aspects. I can't remember what game we were talking about, but I said something was like it's like just imagine you have like a timer on screen at all times. And there's something that you have to like feed into
they're
this.
Pretty simple. Like the ones here, is, like, they're pretty relaxed, so it's nice enough to be like, oh, I'm just hanging.
They're not like bad. It's just.
It was again. It was just it was just another thing that was feeding into my frustration early on because like I was trying to just march around the starting planet and my heat gauge kept like going up, and I would then just have to stand in like the shade or like in a cave for like X amount of seconds while I recovered. Like, and it was frustrating. It was frustrating.
Yeah, definitely the start. That's kind of an unfortunate place to start.
And again, I started with a bad hand too at the start.
I got started at a coal planet. I got started on a coal planet, and it was a similar situation for me.
A coal planet with hostile life on it.
Well, luckily the hostile life was not like roaming all over the planet trying to kill me. It was just like I went into this cave and there's a bunch because I needed like I had a hard time finding some of the early elements that you need, and I needed I think Iridium or something like that, and I couldn't find it. I went into this cave because I didn't know where it was, and I got lost in this cave. Basically, there's like a huge underground network of caves, and there's a bunch of animals down there, and it was kind of cool. And as I was just like exploring these animals, like it looked literally like a praying mantis, just like it's like that, and it, like about that small too. Like runs up to me and just starts hitting me.
What the
I'm
hell?
scanning this thing, and it's like temperament man eater, and it's like the size of a foot, and it's like, and I'm like, get away from me, and it starts bringing friends. And I have a mining laser at this point, not a gun, so it was really, really annoying. But I just ran away. And it solved the problem.
I don't know, man. So many mixed feelings about this game.
Yeah.
Did you guys?
I kind of enjoy it, but I also kind of am like.
What do you guys think about the interactions with the aliens? Like I feel like
it.
They're all right, but again,
Fine.
I can't see that. I can see
they're also
running
pretty predictable.
Yeah, exactly. Running into a different speed. Right now, I've only been dealing with like the robot guys, like the TV headed guys.
Oh yes, that's what I started with. That's what I started with as well.
The Korvax, I believe.
There's 3 of them.
I'm starting with the Geks. No, I don't know what they're called.
They're called Geks. They're all called Gek.
They're called Gek, and they're just like weird. Here come that boy type creatures.
I was gonna say Ethan, of course, would start in the Gex like galaxy.
They just all have TV heads, and they're called Gex, and it's like we like watching TV. And it's just I like the idea of learning. I like the idea of learning languages. Like that's cool, but other than that, it's just very basic.
I like that element to it for sure. Because then you see like them say, like isotope in their sentence. Like, okay, crap, I need to give them isotopes for this.
I remember I learned the Korvax word for Korvax.
Yes.
So I just see them be like Korvax,
Korvax,
and a bunch of gibberish, and I was like, oh, okay. Glad I knew that it was the Korvax they were talking about.
It's more helpful than you think it is. But it's obviously way more helpful when you have.
Well, see, here's the thing: is I ran into one of those monoliths.
I've learned a ton of words.
I ran into one of those monoliths, and it was a bunch of. And actually, I watched Jeff Gerstmann's like playthrough, and it was the same like encounter. And it was
really?
Wow. It was the whole thing where like it was like, oh, your skin is bubbling and boiling, and there's metal spiders crawling in the inside of your helmet. Like, what are you gonna do? And like it was like gibberish words and then calm, and so it was like take off your helmet right now, fire your weapon, or just wait it out. And I was like, well, it says calm, so I think and also these other two decisions seem stupid, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wait it out. And then it was like, here's a present for you because you're good. And I was like, all right, fine, fair enough. Then I watched like Jeff Gerstmann's thing, and I was like, "What the hell?" He ran into like the same exact dialogue as me. Like, how many dialogues are there like for these things?
Yeah, I want to say I ran into something something similar, fairly early in the game as well. So there's a weird thing too where most of those monoliths, if you get one of those choices, like the choice is like do the thing that's like the most, or so far at least, do the thing that's the most like quote unquote good or like tranquil or like zen like that kind of thing. Basically, in most of those cases, it's like don't attack things, don't steal things, don't shoot things, don't like always like do the nice option so far, at least on all those monolith type interactions. I wanted to show you guys something because I got to a cool planet the other day.
A cool planet.
And I'm sending you guys these files on Skype. And you guys talking about how they look pretty samey, and I thought that too for my entire opening part. And then I got to this planet which looked like it had like tree trunks like taking over the entire
it does look
world.
Really cool.
And it had like it looked like something out of freaking like Warhammer with all these like giant like I think they were technically rock, but it just looked like this giant like tree branches were just taking over the entire.
That looks cool. That looks really cool.
Yeah, like it was like it looked like something out like out of Warhammer or like, and I think I named the planet Yggdrasil, the Viking. The Viking tree of life. It's like this tree that just swallowed this planet, and everything was all red and like evil looking. So I think I named one of the places like Chaos Waste or something like that from Warhammer.
See, that's the one thing I haven't done is like name locations, just because I was like, I can't think of things, man.
I haven't done that often, unless it's just something meaningful.
I want the dollars, so I do it.
My most clever.
You don't just get money. You get money even if you don't name it.
I know, but
my most clever name, I think, was I ran into like a really big hulking animal. It was docile, but then I like examined the actual portrait of it, and he just had like these big like buff gorilla arms and then these weird like deer back legs. And so I named him Skipped Leg Day, but it was spelled SKIPT and then leg and then DAI, Skipped Leg Day. So hopefully somebody finds him eventually and gets the joke.
I've jumped like 5 systems now at this point, and the planets are. There's definitely like I said, there's definitely some planets that are samey, but you just kind of like immediately like. I just jump down, name them, and then be like, "This is boring," and then just jump to the next planet or next system. So, but I've either done 2 things. I've either named the system like. The entire system, like some name based on the number of planets that has in the system, and then all the other planets are just like I named one of them Triton because it had 3 planets.
Oh, nice.
And I named it just Triton 1, Triton 2, Triton 3. But then I've run into a thing now where all of a sudden I'm getting attacked by space pirates, and it's like hostile ships in your area, and it's like distress signal received. Like some people were attacking this ship nearby. Guess what? They're gonna attack you too, and it sucks because just like all the other combat in this game, it sucks. Because the enemies have perfect freaking hit, and there's more of them
like
than there are
perfect
of you.
accuracy.
Yeah, they have like
Damn.
just like I don't know if you guys fought Sentinels yet at all. Have you guys,
I haven't.
had them even
I
get
fought
angry at you?
I fought little guys.
I've
once,
run
but not
away
very
from
big.
Sentinels and
Right.
then just fought like a weird like pig dog thing that attacked me.
I haven't like fought the Sentinels, but like if you open a door they don't want you to open, or they see you button too much stuff. They're like they have like perfect aim. If you're running or moving, they will still hit you. But yeah, you're faster than them, so it kind of just works out. But it just like the other enemies, these space pirates also have like pretty much perfect aim, and my shields just got destroyed, and I actually ended up dying. And when you die, you get like a little corpse run chance to get all the stuff back that was in your ship. You just get respawned at the last like landing point that you landed at. But it was lame, and then it happened. Or I survived the first encounter. Here's what happened. Speaking of this game being bugged out, the first encounter, space pirates attacked me. There's 3 of them. I'm like, F this. I'm just pulling a sentinel thing and just running. And I turn on my pulse engines, right, which like kind of put you into this warp mode. And like I'm warping to the next, I'm zooming over to the next planet, and then all of a sudden it just boots me out of the thing, and I'm like, what the heck? And I try to do it again, and it's like enemy ships blocking the signal. You can't warp. But I'd already been warping for like 5 seconds, so I have to kill these enemy ships now. And I turn around, and they're literally like 5 minutes in the other direction, because you know how fast you move when you do that that pulse engine thing. So like I can't pulse engine anymore. But these guys are now like literally like light years away, and it took me like 5-10 minutes to just do the normal engines back to where they were, so I could go shoot them, and they shot me up a ton. And then I got to the next system, and like literally the first thing that happened in the next system was, oh, space pirates are attacking this convoy, you gotta save them. And I went over, and there's like 20 space pirates, and they all just killed me instantly. And so I named the system Space Pirates Suck. And that's the name of that system now.
Did you are you still using your initial starting ship, or what are you using right now?
For pre-ordering I got a special bonus ship.
Oh yeah,
which comes with better weapons and a better
and a jump drive,
and comes with a warp drive by default, so you don't have to spend the quest.
What the hell, ass?
You still have to get fuel for it, but yeah, it comes with that.
So I've been using 2.
Yeah, and it's decent, but it definitely showed its weakness there when I wanted to fight some people, because I haven't had the need to do that recently. So, yeah, it's that part of it sucked. That's for sure. Have you guys found the way to move faster? The little trick. Have you guys seen that online?
No.
What do you mean?
So if you sprint and then melee, and quickly after you melee, use your boost, your rocket jump jets. You will then like get boosted forward at a really high speed.
What?
And you can use the rocket jets to kind of like continue yourself in the air, and it keeps your momentum when you're in the air. So if you're like still in the air, you'll keep moving very fast until you hit the ground again. You can easily hurt yourself by like hitting the ground too fast, but as long as you kind of slow down right before you hit the ground, you'll get it's so much faster because you move so slow in that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it seems like everything about the tech in this game is really cool and really interesting, and then everything about like the actual gameplay mechanics they decided to put in was like, you have a sprint meter that's like aggressively short, and this game has huge planets and expects you to walk around.
I upgraded my like my sprint length, but it's still pretty tight constraints to work under.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said before, it feels like a really cool early access thing. It feels like a really cool tech demo, but like for a $60 release, this is something else. I tells you.
It tells you the hype's off the rails, man. But now the hype is like, Guys, can we not talk about No Man's Sky anymore, except for in news?
Sure.
Wait, I got one last thing to talk about No Man's Sky.
All right, go on.
It's not something to talk about, but it's just are you guys gonna keep playing it? Because we just said a bunch of negative stuff about it, but I mean, are you guys gonna keep playing it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is I kind of just left off at a pretty interesting point, so I want to see what it's like to start jumping systems and stuff, but at the same time, that Polygon review was very, like, astute in that I feel like I don't know how much more there is that I have to see that I haven't, like, kind of already seen in one way or another. I feel like with, like, 3 hours maybe under my belt, I'm kind of already, like, running out of a sense of wonder, you know?
Yeah, I would encourage you. I would just say I would encourage you to not feel the need to stick around in certain areas if you're. But yeah, totally see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I still enjoy like how big the galaxy is and all that stuff, but it's just like I see the numbers, I see the spreadsheets of like how all these characters are generated, and
you see them loading in slowly in the
as they
like,
pop in
in the weirdest like pixelated way.
Yeah, they like dissolve in. It's weird.
Yeah, even as you're already very close to things, it's still like loading in stuff. It's
kind of gross.
It's kind of yeah.
But I don't know, man. I keep wanting to try it because I feel like there's a little bit more I can see still. I feel like there's still some left, but I don't know. I kind of all my fears that I thought about when I saw this game are kind of seem to be accurate. So, but I'm still gonna keep chugging away.
Yeah, and as for me, I think I'm probably the one out of the three of us that's enjoying it the most. But that's probably because I also spent the most time, like, prepping for the game, both in terms of like following it before release, and then after, like, and up to like coming up to release, like looking at all the stuff about it and reading things about it to like understand. Okay, yep, this is. I had those same fears, Ethan, and I think I just managed to, before I hopped in and experienced the disappointment firsthand, I managed to manage my expectations before I played it. It does not excuse.
Expectations are there, but I'm still just like out, you know.
It doesn't excuse the terrible quality of the PC version, but I think that just by jumping through each system and just like as soon as I get kind of disinterested with the planet, just moving on to the next thing, I'm having a lot of fun with it so far.
Good. You know what I'm having a lot of fun with?
What?
Monster Hunter.
Are you really?
Man, that game is pretty good.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks you have not sounded that.
I've been kind of like, about it, but like, I don't know, man. It's something about like, now that I kind of understand it a little bit more.
Oh, and you found your weapon, too.
And I found like the weapon I like. Now that I got my new 3DS, and I've been popping dudes with it. Yeah, using that heavy blowgun, it's a lot more enjoyable. Like I could do some. It's super fun just trying to go around and tackle some of these like bigger monsters that come up, and definitely the multiplayer is definitely where it's definitely shines. The single player is fine, but like having another friend to go in and be like running around that same area and like spread out. We got to find this monster is like. It's super fun.
Yeah, and then it's like, I gotta trap down, lead him over here. Oh wait, hold on, go into the other area. You need to heal up, blah blah. Like, and it's really fun now because Ethan's like using a ranged weapon with a heavy bowgun, and I'm using still the hunting horn. So like. The loop was going, like, I would charge in and get knocked on my ass, and Ethan would just, like, shell the shit out of the monster as I backed up and then played a song to buff him up, and then I charge back in, get knocked on my ass again.
Sounds like you need one more person.
No, it's hilarious.
Tank that.
It's hilarious and it's super fun. It's like a super fun, like, and then I finally get the mount and I'm like, a hilarious thing happened this last time because Ethan, the new game has the hunter arts, and Ethan has this big, what is it, like a Nova shot or something?
It's called like Nova gun.
Novocaine.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Novocaine. Yeah, dude.
With the heavy bow gun, and we spent about like 4 hunts where he's just launching this big explosion at the monster and it's not hitting once, or it's looking like it's doing absolutely nothing.
It apparently has a set time to explode. I figured it out later.
Oh, okay, yes.
At the time, it was
like
I don't know how this
It
works.
would just pass through the monster and explode behind him, or it would like just not even explode at all. and I was just like, what does this thing do? And then finally, on one...
Got like a direct hit.
On one game, yeah, like I'm jumping off of the monster because I'm using the aerial the style, and then there's just this giant explosion underneath me, and the monster just immediately dies because it got shot by this big Nova thing. So yeah, really fun. Like, that game's really, really fun. Like, I don't know if it's as strong as Monster Hunter 4, but it's really, really fun. So yeah.
I don't have any guide for it, so I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I played it a little bit more today. I don't know, it's weird because it just has it's kind of similar to No Man's Sky in the fact that you are kind of like going out and just kind of grinding, but in like, it's like a more of a set path, like, okay, you want to go for this, you're going to go for that, you know, you're going to go find this and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But again, as opposed to procedurally generated,
the monsters look a little bit better.
Yeah, all the monsters are crafted, and you know, all the maps are crafted. So I mean, it's all gonna look decent.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are big brontosaurus.
Seriously, there's every monster in Monster Hunter is just a dinosaur. There's only a couple that aren't.
We fought that big monkey.
It's a big monkey. Yeah, I remember that from Ricardo playing the last, whichever one was the last one.
That monkey sucks.
Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Monkey was the first time we died.
Yeah,
the game's super great. I'm really digging it. Surprisingly enough, I am like, every night I'll play like a couple quests and then go to bed. It's a nice chill out game because just like some of the quests aren't very intense. They're just like, go gather some stuff for collect these mushrooms or whatever.
Get this stuff and this person will upgrade your kitchen, and then you get to eat more stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Simple stuff like that.
Ethan also spent about 5 minutes cooking meat, and I just danced behind him while he was cooking meat the whole time.
Yeah, that was a good time. The game is solid.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's cool.
I played a game actually right before this. Downloaded on iOS. The new Devolver Devolver Digital published game Reigns. I don't know if you guys have heard about this game.
No.
Okay, so Reigns is a weird kind of all text-based sort of adventure game, and it's based on the idea of Tinder almost, because every one of your subjects will come up with like a request, and so basically in this game you play as a king. You start the game as a king, and like, I guess your family's been accursed to know the entirety of, like, to know the entirety of your predecessor's past and stuff like that. Basically justifying the game mechanic that with every new generation of king, you'll know, like, what the one before it did and stuff like that, and everything will be set up. So, you start off the game as a king, you quickly die, and then a new king spawns, and then you try to basically rule your kingdom as good as possible through the simple usage of like this Tinder mechanic where subjects will come up to you, subjects and advisors will come up to you with a question, and like a question or a proposal, like they'll be like, oh, there's a plague outbreak like in the Southern Kingdom, what should we do? And it's like you swipe left to be like, bar the gates, don't let them in. And then you swipe right to say, we must help the sick. And then depending on what your answer is, these 4 bars that will go up and down dependent on. So there's like one that determines like your faith, the faith and the religion of your country. Another one determines like the populace. Another one determines the army, and another one determines the funds, and they'll go up and down. So like obviously stuff like building stuff will cost you a lot of your funds, whereas like going more towards a science route will determine like will affect faith and also like the human populace happiness and stuff like that. And a lot of and it gives you like a little preview of how each thing will be affected by your yes or no answer. But it doesn't necessarily tell you if it's going to be in a positive or negative way. It's just like, this is going to really affect your funds, or this is going to really affect your whatever. And sometimes it's obviously, but sometimes it's like everything is affected a little bit, and it's like, oh, I don't know what this decision is going to do. And if any of those meters goes all the way down, you're dead. Like, you're dead, and your reign ends, and then you immediately pop up with a new one. And then there's, like, just interesting stuff pops up. Like, sometimes a doctor will show up, and you'll decide whether you want to, like, to bring him into your court. Like, a witch will pop up, and if you want to bring him into your court. I ran into the devil once, and literally it was like... Well. It was like the next person you say yes to is gonna die, and so then the Pope, like the like Pope or the Cardinal showed up, and I was like, no, I don't want you to die. Whatever you have to say right now, no. and then like my head vizier showed up, and I was like, no, you're fine. And then my wife, who was actually forced, like I was forced to marry her to like.
Was it with you and wives?
To not have
with you.
To not have a war with a neighboring country. She showed up and she said something mean to me, so I was like, yes. And then she immediately died. But yeah, so and then it scores you like and shows like your reigns, and basically the stuff you get for your kingdom can sometimes cross over to the next like the next heir or whatever. So right now my high score was with Edward the Old, because they randomly generate a name and then a suffix depending on how their rule was. So
after they die.
Yeah, after they die. So
because like I was gonna say, like if they called him Edward the Old right away.
Yeah, Edward the Old. He had a 25-year reign. There was James the Sorcerer was number 2, who was 10 years in power. Then there was George the Greedy, also 10 years in power. And then there was also
Is this free?
And then there was Robert the Creepy.
No, I think it's $3. I just downloaded it.
It's $3. But it's really fun. Like, I really want to play more of it. And it's super simple. It's literally just swiping left and right. There are some other mechanics, like there's a dueling mechanic that is the same kind of like swiping left and right. And it teaches you a little bit about that like as you play. That's the thing, is the game is very good at branching off like new mechanics and new things as your like third reign starts up or your fourth reign starts up, like that. So. Does it
have in-app purchases?
Not that I see at all. It doesn't seem like that type of game. I think it's just $3 and you're good to go.
Seems pretty cool. I'm downloading it now.
It's fun.
Yeah, this is a good pitch. I'm immediately interested, so I'm gonna check it out. Oh, look, new games we love right here on the front page of the App Store.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, oh, I've heard about this. I heard about this Reigns game. Let me see if I can find it. And then it was literally on the front page. So I was like, oh, well, there you go.
Cool.
So I'd say check it out. It's $3, which is a little bit for a iOS game, but I think it's worth it.
For a similar price, something that I haven't got to play yet, but I've heard good things about is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, which was on sale over the weekend or something like that for like $250. So more pending, of course. I haven't played it yet, but I was like, I've heard good things about that game, and that was like 2010 that game came out or something like that.
It was
didn't get much press.
Original Xbox, right?
No, No. So you're thinking of Munch's Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a series of Oddworld games.
So what was that? Which one was Stranger's Wrath?
Stranger's Wrath was a first-person shooter.
No. I know that, but I thought that was original Xbox as well.
No, that one was I think 2010. It might have been It might have been started back then. I'm gonna look it up right now because now you got me second guessing myself. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's like 2010 or something like that because I remember watching video of it. More recently.
I'll be curious to see how that holds up.
You are right. It is still original Xbox. I was wrong, but it must have been re-released or something. Yeah, 2005. Man, a long time ago.
I'll be curious to see how that holds up.
Yeah. That's why it was remastered in 2010. That's what I was thinking of.
Makes sense.
Remastered in 2011. It was announced in 2010. Came out in 2011. And yeah, apparently it's decent. It's pretty good. So it's kind of weird, of course. It's not like a normal first-person shooter. But the remaster is apparently decent, and the game has apparently got interesting. So I'll check that out and see how that holds up.
Yeah, I'll be curious to hear.
And for that price, I was like, that's something that I've been curious to check out for a while. But that's it for me. So, guys, we already talked a lot about No Man's Sky. I don't think we need to say too much more other than that. Like, it's interesting that the reviews are kind of all over. It's definitely been a more muted response than I think everyone expected, but there are still people who are like, this game is garbage, I hate it, and there's people who are like, yeah, this game's fun, I like it a lot. And that's interesting to me.
It's very Destiny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
The expectations were not managed well, basically, and people got way out of control with what they thought was going to happen, and the game developer and Sony did not do a good enough job of explaining what was actually going on.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I just wonder how much of that is like how much people are willing to stick with the game, because I was very much in a mood to just straight up be like, this game is garbage, this game sucks, like, screw this. But then I played a little bit more of it, and I think I kind of tempered my, like, what I was looking for in it, and it is fine. Like, it is fine, this game.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at too. I'm enjoying it, but yeah. So we got some like different areas about how the PC port is super broken, which is interesting because they delayed that 3 days. I think that's kind of funny to me that they delayed it only to have it launch as broken as it did. Like, I almost wonder what state it was in on Tuesday when it was supposed to come out.
Well,
if it required 3 days of fixing.
That's the thing, is how late did they how late did they announce that delay?
It was like a week. It was like a week before. It was like not that long before. Yeah, it was very, very short time before.
Speaking, to go off on a slight tangent, it's not even going to be a tangent, but speaking of like weird managing of expectations and press pre-release, I didn't know that the sequel to Grow Home was like pretty much out like already, or it was like it's out next week, like the sequel to Grow Home. And I was like, that
with Grow Home 1.
Yeah,
though,
I was gonna say, like, what's going on? These games just kind of come out and nobody even.
No one cares. They hope word of mouth will get the rest of the way.
I guess.
Yeah. It's a small game.
I liked Grow Home 1. Then again, I got it for free, so.
I liked it a lot too, and I paid $10, or no, it was like $6. It had like a weird price. It was like $7 or something like that.
It was $7.87.
Yeah, it was something odd like that. Yeah, so we'll see how that game turns out.
Yeah, I what do you think the post-release like support for No Man's Sky is gonna be? Do you see any kind of big like update happening?
So they've already announced they got a lot more stuff they're going to be adding to it, and
mostly fixing the PC version.
Well,
right?
yes, that's a lot. I think that's gonna be one of their first priorities. But also, apparently, they've said that they've just added like 15 QA team people to their team. And for context, the entire team that made all of No Man's Sky is like 20 people. So they just added a bunch of people for like extra support stuff, which means they're going to be developing. If they're adding QA people, it only means that they're going to be developing more patches or content. So it sounds like they're going to keep supporting it. Who knows what they'll actually be adding? They've talked about like wanting to add like base building and more crafting stuff. But they also talked about multiplayer working, and then there's those people that got into the same system with each other, and it didn't work. So, Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see.
Moving on to non-No Man's Sky news, which I don't think we did. I didn't say news. So now on for reals, the real news.
That's just No Man's Sky cleanup.
Yeah. Guys, fan made. Have you guys heard about Pokemon Uranium first? Did you guys hear about that? So that was pretty recently, within the last month. That got released as a fan Pokemon game, which was available for free on the internet. And then, of course, because it's freaking Pokemon and it's owned by the Pokemon Company and Nintendo, they got quickly issued a cease and desist, or we will sue your butts for this thing. And basically the creators of the game have said, like, oh yeah, it's off of our website, no one can download it anymore, except if you go online and look on some other places, maybe you can find.
You can't download it anymore. Wink, wink.
Yep, and we're not gonna make it anymore, except we're still gonna support it. there's gonna be patches that are gonna be downloaded through the game client. So it's gone for Nintendo. We removed it.
You can't find it.
Nope.
Do conventional means.
Yeah. So that is. Have you seen that game played? Have you seen?
I haven't seen
it
played. I remember my first reaction to it was a really pithy, shitty of all the games you're gonna make a fan game of. Why would you make Pokemon? They release a new Pokemon game every year. Why do you need to make a new fan game of that?
Yeah.
But then somebody actually explained to me what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be darker and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, I feel it.
I don't know for certain if it actually is. I've only seen the first opening bits of it. It's definitely got some things it changes up, which is kind of cool. It the way you pick your starting Pokemon, it gives you a little quiz, and then it's the best pick for you is this one.
The grass cat.
Yeah, exactly. And then the article that I linked, the writer, she says that some of these Pokemon definitely feel like knockoff fake Pokemon you find at at a Chinese ripoff place or a border stand.
Yeah. The ones
Pikachu.
Check out my Pogs that have non-licensed Pokemon on them.
Yeah. But I mean, the game itself looks it doesn't look amazing. It looks fine. It looks like a kind of like a DS game, similar to what the DS Pokemon games looked. It's been downloaded a ton of times.
Yeah.
People want more Pokemon, man.
It's almost like there's a new Pokemon coming out, and that there was a big, mobile game that just came out that had Pokemon in it. It's almost like the time was perfect.
So, yeah, it's right before. If they didn't release it any sooner, then it might have been hurt by Pokemon Sun and Moon. But still, those aren't out yet, so good time to come out. And it kind of relates to a similar story, just of the fan-made Metroid 2 remake, which is a complete reworking of Metroid 2, kind of done in more of a Super Nintendo style, but also kind of reworking that game because Metroid 2 came out on the Game Boy and was actually really cool, but also did not, it was on a Game Boy screen and it didn't fill like Samus filled half the screen just standing there. So. So this game kind of does some cool stuff with it, but then also Nintendo was like, "Yeah, take that down," as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's one company that definitely is going to be on top of that is Nintendo.
But even then, it's not just Nintendo. I mean, that story about that fan-made Battlefield 3. Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront free, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be Star Wars. We're gonna not sell it. It's gonna be free, but it's gonna be out on Steam. And they're like, no, it's not. EA and Disney are like, no, you're not. We make
Disney's the second one. Disney's the second company you don't want to mess with. Or actually, they're probably the first, and then Nintendo, and then I don't know.
Very similar in a lot of ways in their branding and marketing.
And even if it's free, it's still breaking copyright, so they're not going to be cool with that. Sometimes, especially if it's free, because then you can get, why would I buy the new Pokemon game when I could play this one for free?
That's true. I didn't really think about it like that.
Yeah, so they stopped that stuff technically, although I'm sure you could find both of those things if you were to look. I'm sure you would be able to find that information.
If you find a little birdie.
Exactly. If you were to perhaps go on the uTorrents.
We won't talk about that.
They're gonna take us down. They're gonna find out we talked about Nintendo franchises on here.
We don't talk about that. We only talk about Blizzard and Activision. Also, they're super friendly. They love it when you make free stuff based off of their stuff.
Totally. Yeah. They didn't just recently shut down a legacy server for World of Warcraft.
Nope, not at all. Blizzard is going to be, I'm going to call it fixing competitive mode in, or ranked or whatever you want to call it in Overwatch, because I don't know. As of right now, that mode kind of sucks. But is that even in the PS4 version?
Yeah.
Ricardo?
I just haven't played it because I have not played very much Overwatch. Because like when it first dropped, like not everybody in our little group was at level 25 yet, and then I just haven't played Overwatch is the thing. Like I feel really bad because that game's great, but I just haven't played it.
I jumped back into it today and lost a bunch of games in a row. But I got a cool skin for Diva. I got a Summer Games skin for Diva, so now she's got a cool Korean flag on her mech.
That one's sweet.
Now, that looks pretty cool.
I still haven't even played since the update.
That was my first thing I got from that, so I haven't really played that at all. I kind of like those skins though, but I just haven't. People haven't been playing it, and I've been playing other games, and I joined up on a group and lose a bunch of games in a row because I haven't played. Because also now I'm really rusty, so now I lose more. Mm-hmm. So it's like this self-fulfilling cycle. But that seems cool. The mode is. I don't know if you guys get a chance to read the changes. So they're changing the skill ranking. Instead of 1 to 100, it's 1 to 5,000. So you always drop or gain a point rather than before where it's like you're at level 51. And then you just lost. Well, you're going to go down a little bit, and that might take you down to level 50, but it might just leave you still at level 51, but almost, like that kind of thing. So now it's like, no matter what, you win or lose, you're going to be going up or down numbers, like whole numbers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to being like, I'm still at level 51, but I like just barely, if I lose one more, I'm going to lose, that kind of thing. It's just like, no, you're always going up or down. And they're also sorting it into tiers again, which was what it was like in the beta. But then they took it away, and then now they're putting it back. So there's going to be gold. The ones that mentioned were gold, diamond, master, and grandmaster. But I'm sure there's going to be a silver, bronze, something like that. I would imagine. Let's see here. Sudden death is dead. There's no more sudden death. No more coin toss.
Good.
Basically, the point is that ties can happen now. So if ties happen, both teams will get points, just not as much as if they'd won. Because now, instead of getting 1 competitive point per match, you're going to get 10 competitive points per match if you win. But then also, every item that you buy with competitive points costs 10 times more. So it doesn't change anything in regards to that. But I guess bigger numbers sound cooler, is what this article says.
Sure, why not?
And that's pretty much all that matters to us. There's some stuff about like top level players here that's not really that much of a worry. And like the thing that happens on like the assault maps, where like if you beat the map really quickly and still have time left over, you get to like reload the map again and keep capturing points until you've used all your time. So you can theoretically get more points than just the 2. So like on Hanamura, for instance, if you were to like attack that really quickly and beat it in 6 minutes, you'd have 4 minutes left over, and you get to start again at the beginning and see if you can capture the first point again, and keep going until you run out of time. That's already in play, but that's going to also roll over into payload maps as well. So that if you beat the payload and there's plenty of time left over, you'll get to use that time again to restart the map and run some more until you run out of time completely. And the last thing is that players with wildly different skill ratings will no longer be able to group up. So, if your rank is really far apart from each other, then you will not be able to.
I feel like they've already had that, but you had to be like 10 levels.
It was like it was even more than that. I think it was like 25 out of a 100 rank system. So that's pretty big. In this game, it's 500, but that's out of a 5,000 rank system. So that's like 10 levels apart, equivalent. So yeah, they're doing a ton of changes basically for the next round that'll starting. But
will it be fun?
Well, that's what we're gonna have to find out. It sounds like these changes would make it better. But of course I can't tell you that until I play it, because I only played enough to get my ranking, and that gives you enough to get the little reward they get for doing it. For if you play enough of your placement matches to get your rank, then you get a little reward, and that's all I played basically. And I was like, I'm done with this.
Fair enough. How have you guys been? That's the thing is, have you guys gotten any of the cool summer game stuff besides just the
that one? I got like an emote. No, it wasn't even an emote. It was like an icon. I got like a player icon. Something lame.
Some of those are kind of cool, but yeah.
Yeah. I got like a really cool spray, I think, but it was for a character that I already have a really good spray for, so I was torn. I was torn.
Natalie Imbruglia.
Freaking game like where you can't use their money to buy those items, and they're only available for a limited time, and it's just like everything compounds.
Yeah.
That's that. That's Overwatch. Last thing I added on here was just a cool thing I saw while I was looking for trailers, actually, which is that the original Rome Total War is coming to iPad, which just sounded crazy. I was like, that game is really intense, like in terms of things that you do and how many mouse and keyboard commands you want to be using during the battles. But it's coming to iPad, so that's cool, I guess. And also that game, that was the first game I bought that I was like, oh man, my computer can't run this. I need a graphics card.
Same here.
I need to go buy a graphics card and install this into my computer because my computer does not work with this game.
So,
but that was years ago.
And now it's on an iPad. It's just crazy to me.
What kind of significant changes is it going to see with the iPad release, or is it going to be?
I don't know. It's just all I had is the trailer, so I don't actually know what is going to be changed, if anything. But because the trailer just shows the game itself, pretty much. But I guess that's cool. Like, yeah, I don't know. No idea what they're gonna do to it to make that work. But hey,
it's the resurging age of the RTS type game.
Well, that plus with just the fact that like you can just power these old games on these tiny tablets now. It's hilarious.
Indeed.
So,
I don't know, man. I'm interested to see how it kind of works.
Yeah. I also don't know how much it'll be as well. So that's an interesting thing. So, that's pretty much all for the news.
So we shall move on then to...
Shall we?
What should we move on to?
I don't know. I can't think. What would it be that we move on to after the news?
AJ moving on to Taylor.
Oh, wait, what?
What?
Who's that?
Boy McQueen, Taylor Dash.
Oh. What is that?
It's they going to town with the Taylor Dash.
Okay.
Trailer trash. I just want to say real quick, I just watched that Rome Total War trailer, and I saw that they've definitely reformatted the game for the iPad. And I saw there's at one point where the person drew a line on screen for the troops to follow.
Oh,
and so, there you go. That's all I know. Oh. Trailer trash. This week, I picked all the trailers. This week...
This is a Matt choice.
This is
Matt curated choice.
Matt curation here. The first game we watched was Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom official Gamescom trailer 2016.
And that game looked pretty good.
It had great music.
That game looked neat.
That game had really great music.
It looked like a total platformer throwback. Like a lot of platformers used to focus on the hero getting some kind of weird power up. So in this game, the hero play as Monster Boy. And
Monster Boy.
And
your boy Monster Boy.
And he changes into different half animal creatures. Except one of them is just like a snick. That's all he changes into.
He's got a lion man,
a lion
bear man.
Yeah, pig man, I think. With an eye patch. And he does
Frog man.
Does different crazy powers with each of them. But it had a really cool art style and great music in the trailer.
It had like a cool animation at the very beginning too.
I mean, the thing is, it looks like another one of those, but the art style and I guess the whole style of it overall looks really good.
Style. It's got style.
Yeah.
Style. Class. He's real fast. He'll rule ass. It looks good.
Now, here's a game with some style. It's a game called One Way Trip. Official launch trailer for One Way Trip. Ethan's so bored of this trailer.
I mean, are you a hipster?
I mean, it's just your generic. It's just your.
Are you asking, Matt, or are you asking just
I'm just asking
people who want to play this game?
guys, this is your pretty generic game. I don't know. It's like pretty much like any other game that's got a drug-fueled adventure game style, crazy art. You know, pretty much what we see every day. I'm pretty tired of these coming out every year.
You ever open up a sketchbook and be like, what if this is a video game?
You ever, like, take a photo on your Polaroid and then be like, what if I drew this and put it in a game?
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
You've been hanging out with your friends. You're like, do a funny face, and they did. Then you're like, yes, let's go be in the game.
You ever watch Juno and it was like, that'd make a good game?
You watch the opening credits to Juno.
Juno is not this.
It's the opening credits.
The opening credits, yes, but not the whole movie. This game is like a collection. This trailer is just a collection of images. Nothing is clear. Nothing is. There's some text on screen at points. It does not explain what is going on, who you are, what you're trying to do.
Who am I?
The world is crazy, and everything looks like the art is really neat. But yeah.
I don't know. It's a choose your own type of adventure game, but
choose your own type.
It's
blondes.
It seems all right.
What type's not blonde?
I don't know. Like it was not without its charm. It certainly does not look like any video game like out there right now.
It doesn't look like a real video game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's why. That's why all the YouTube ratings on this was like 49% thumbs up. Like, and the rest were just like. Then I did not even want to venture into the comments section because it was probably just vitriol. But
but that's not the worst thing we saw on YouTube after watching one of the trailers.
Oh no! Well, we'll get to that soon enough. What was next?
Next was Licksphere.
All right, this trailer was awesome. I don't know how the game's gonna be, but that trailer was
it's like get the Licksphere, then use it to fight your enemies, and then kill the Viking penguin.
Kill the
hipster giant, the hipster yeti. That's right.
The worst zombie.
The first zombie. The what was it, the Pegasus zombie or something like that.
It was like Germany and Scandinavia clashed into this kind of weird.
Basically,
and you're playing this dude Hans and Hansia. Yes, the spear god, the Lick gods commanded.
Hans and Helga.
Yeah, Helga. That's right.
We are throwing the Licksphere, but it looked like it was. Gameplay wise, it just looked like.
It looked a little simple.
It looked almost like a weird, Angry Birds kind of style where you're angling the spear and just chucking it.
But also, at the same time, the enemies are, directly approaching you and attack and, trying to get to you at the same... But, yeah, it looked like you're just standing in one place and just throwing the spear. And you got power-ups and different ultra spears and explosive spears, and everyone's head explodes when you hit them. And there's the classy zombie. And then there's the armored hipster yeti.
Yeah. Das Walrus and Skater Das Walrus.
And it was the historic penguin Vikings as opposed to the modern penguin Vikings.
Yeah, it looked silly, very neon and 80s kind of aesthetic, and then of course with the overarching just German silliness.
Silliness.
If there is such a thing.
This game is called...
You think we are joking or making with the funny stuff?
Wir not.
We'll go to ein Club.
Who was the developer on this? Was it anybody recognizable, or?
I think it's some independent studio.
All three of I know that all three of these games, at least the last two, were advertised as PSN releases. I want to say.
Lichtund is the name of the studio. So Lichtund. I've never heard of that, but it seems like it's two people.
Lichtund.
So that's pretty cool. You got it.
You gotta eat that sushi. Oh.
Moving on to the next game.
Yes.
Anybody else can pick it up whenever they want. Okay. Pokemon.
Pokemon, man.
Discover more Pokemon and meet Team Skull in Pokemon Sun and Moon.
There's a combo trailer where we're gonna meet new Pokemon. 3 new Pokemon. One of them. Oh, what was the first one? It was the
Wishy-Washy.
Wishy-Washy.
Wishy-Washy, which is a great little fish.
He's a sad fish.
I feel like he sucks, but then he gets in a school of them and turns into this giant monster fish, and it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a great Pokemon.
That was a
And
cool
there was
looking Pokemon.
Then there's a sea cucumber, and it's like tree turns inside out.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Am I like imagining things, or is this like these are some of the like cooler designed Pokemon in a while?
They're just doing more weird stuff with them. Like, I don't think they look that much cooler than other Pokemon, but they're just doing things where, like, when this Pokemon gets low health, his shell breaks and he looks different and like has different abilities. And then like when this Pokemon gets to a high enough level, he just forms a school with other Pokemon and just like and gets gets bigger. Or like this Pokemon is like a different version of the ones that we've had before, and he's got a giant long neck and just freaking high.
Yep.
In more than one way.
So we saw some more of those variations. What was the first? Oh, the Meowth, which is the dark type Meowth, who is basically just.
You forgot more.
Oh, who did I?
Morello, the third one, which is just a mushroom.
Little mushrooms.
It's just a mushroom. That's it.
Not definitely the low light, because it wasn't sassy dark Meowth, who is just like Meowth, but in a grayer tinge to the Meowth. And then,
it's like a night. It's like Night on the Town Meowth.
Yes.
It's like sultry Meowth.
Exactly.
And then you got Marowak, who's like gone on a diet and also has a flaming
flame juggler.
Flaming bone, if you know.
A flaming bone.
And then there's like Raichu. It's like, what if we made Raichu curvy and cuddly?
Yeah, less sharp edges, and then he's
Surf
also a psychic type now, and Surf's on the tail. Why not?
Why not?
That's what
I wonder. Will you be able to catch the normal versions of these Pokemon, or will they just all be?
No clue. I have no clue.
I'm guessing the implication is that this is just the version that you'll find when you on this.
Well, the thing is it's like I'm pretty sure like most Pokemon allow you to once you like finish the like initial Elite Four thing to transfer your Pokemon over.
Yes.
So I'd assume you could probably transfer your Pokemon
get
from
the normal Raichu or the normal.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
I don't know.
That's been going on since the DS days.
Yeah. And then we saw the bad guys this time are
Team Skull.
Team Skull.
And they're wannabe rappers.
They all just
wannabe
look like
hip hop fans.
They look like Vanilla
ICP
Ice.
but cleaned up.
Oh yeah, ICP actually.
They're juggalos, is what you're saying.
They are.
Yep.
What if they are supposed to be like juggalos? What if the localizers basically just turn them into juggalos?
So the thing is, I looked up pictures of juggalos after you said this, and I still completely disagree. They look nothing like. They're not dressed up like clowns. They don't like.
If they didn't dress up like clowns, they'd look exactly like them. Juggalos. Let's see. I gotta look this up. Yeah, man, they're wearing like rap clothes. It's like black. They're wearing a lot of black. Oh man, these people aren't wearing many clothes. Besides that, oh man, they look like juggalos. They just look like goth rappers. That's all they look like to me.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I see more variation in the juggalos that I'm.
You're looking at
closing this Google search window.
You're looking at the Alolan variation of the juggalos.
They're more friendly. They're softer edges. They don't
have a crack pipe with them.
They're more cuddly. Yep. So that's all the trailer trash. Oh wait, except for wait a minute.
No,
there's
you
one
forgot
more.
one.
There's one more. No, I know. Didn't actually forget. I never could forget Criminal Girls 2. Party favors. This is the Lily trailer.
Yes, last week it was the crap. What was the
not Lily?
Not Lily.
The not Lily trailer.
Different waifu.
The different waifu. This week, just for Ethan, because I know he was real interested to see more of Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors. We saw Lily, and she's an angry girl who doesn't show weakness. No one can show weakness.
No.
To be strong.
But she'll show her boobs, kind of. She won't show weakness. But yes, Ethan.
And she's got gothy blonde.
As Ethan just looks dumbfounded
just looks horrified.
I still don't really know what this game is, other than ladies.
You kind of spank them at some point. And there's
you do. You totally do.
And then there's also like it seems like a more like chibi style like. You look like a Pokemon character running around some sort of top-down
battle system, and then it's like learn about their past. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's important.
Are we gonna have to play this game?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
Ethan,
an RPG.
are we?
Yeah, it's like an RPG. It's like a top-down. It's a part. It's like you're like walking around the world area, and like it's like a top-down.
I don't know, Ethan. Are we gonna have to play it?
Is it multiplayer? Can you two play it together?
It doesn't matter. It just means we're gonna have to, play it.
What game?
Play it as like a Let's Play or something.
What does this come out on? I just realized PS Vita.
Oh, well then I guess. Ethan, you can play it.
I could play it, or I could just not.
It comes if you get the special pack, you get like a whole art book and everything. Man, look at all this stuff! Wow. Anyway, the best part was after the trailer ended, the autoplay for YouTube comes up and goes like, "Censorship in Criminal Girls 2, my rant about it. Let me tell you."
Yep.
And then was it me and you, Ethan, or me and Ricardo? I can't remember.
I watched part of it.
Yeah, me and you had to we have to stick around for this now, and it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. So I'm not even gonna bother. But yeah, that game's getting. I don't even know this, but apparently it's in Japan. It's way more hardcore.
It's way harder.
The girls wear more revealing clothes and/or no clothes and/or less clothes and/or I don't actually know, but there's censorship going on here in the U.S. Censorship. As a journalism major in school, whenever anyone uses the word censorship to refer to games, I get really pissed off. It's like one of those irrational things of just like you're using that word wrong. That's not what that word means. You keep using that word. It's not. Don't mean what it means what you think it means. Because that's not what censorship is.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
The company who made the game does not censor. They are the ones that they get to choose what's in their own game. It's not censorship.
Exactly. Nobody's telling them that.
No one's telling them to stop putting that thing in their game.
They just do it on their own because they want to make the dollars.
And they're not like, we don't want people to get freaked out about this game.
Because in its current form, how could they?
Nope, it's completely normal.
It's innocuous.
Me and you, Ricardo, are totally fine with this. It's only Ethan that's being weird about it.
Exactly.
Prude.
Yeah, you prude.
Yeah,
sorry, my old-fashioned ways.
Xenophobic, the prude over here. He hates anime. That's why Ethan doesn't like it.
I'm gonna guess that's probably number one, but more than the actual content of the game. It's just he doesn't like
I would say no. It's a combination of the two.
Oh, you actually had to clarify that point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right. So, what wins the trailer trash this week?
No.
It's definitely Lichtspiel.
Lichtspiel.
Lichtspiel easily wins. It's the best trailer. Maybe not the best game, but definitely the trailer was.
It's definitely a
charts.
pretty good trailer.
I like Monster Boy.
Das Walrus on skateboard.
Das Walrus
on skateboard.
I
do think Monster Boy is pretty good. I was really impressed with the first opening of Monster Boy, and when the gameplay started happening, it's not like I hated it, but I was just like, oh, okay, this is not as impressive as I was hoping for at first. I'm gonna go with Ethan on this one. Lichtspiel, I think, had a better trailer.
Yeah, Lichtspiel winner. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was tempted to go with One Way Trip because that game just looked weird.
Woo!
Well, that about almost wraps it up. Now, Ricardo, on Twitter, you posted a thing. Telling people to ask you questions.
Oh yeah, actually, we did get a question.
We did get a question
from our good our number one fan Matt. asked us what is all.
Not me.
What's up? No,
Every
not
time
you.
I gotta clarify in case
What
someone's like, Matt, why are you asking questions?
Is your favorite N64 game?
That is a good question, Matt. Because I'm actually
I know it right off the bat.
back in the day that was
Me
like my
too.
favorite console.
Majora's Mask.
Really?
Okay.
Damn.
All right. Good choice.
Yeah.
Star Fox 64.
Ah.
Back when Star Fox would never hurt me, and Star Fox was my friend.
It was pure and untainted.
Star Fox has betrayed you so much. It's been sleeping at my house for the last month.
And I still have his box over here. You should come and get it, you hussy. Come get your box. Come get your Star Fox guard.
You still haven't played Star Fox Guard, have you? I heard that's actually decent. Is the thing.
I know, same, but I just haven't.
We should play that sometime. My favorite 64 game is actually probably Paper Mario, because that game's really good.
That game is really good.
It's not as good as Thousand Year Door, of course, on GameCube, but we're talking about 64. So, if it's not Paper Mario, it's Banjo-Tooie. Those are the two.
Good choice.
Those are the two. So, yeah, I think Paper Mario beats it, though, because it's just like I can play that so many times.
And that's another series that has hurt you, too, in recent years.
All these Nintendo series, they get ripe and then they start hurting you, you know? You get in them long enough, they just kind of...
Mario would never hurt me. It would never hurt me.
Color Splash.
Wait, no, I don't know what that is. Paper
okay.
Paper Mario's amazing.
Fair enough.
It only has good games in it. There was no 3DS game. Never. It was not a real game. What game? There isn't a game. It'd be cool if they made a game. If they haven't. It's only Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario, which is just okay.
Fair
That's
enough.
it, the Pixel Podcast this week. We gotta stop it. Okay, if you like this podcast, thanks Matt again for the question. If people have questions, send us them on Twitter, Pixel_Legends. Since no one uses email anymore, why do that? If we would totally love to do a question segment or an email segment or whatever you want to call it. If people actually send us questions, we'll be totally down. So go ahead and do that. If you have any, we'll keep track of them. And we'll answer them on the podcast. It can be about games or about completely anything else, because who cares? You can check us out on Facebook as well. Pixel Legends on Facebook. We have a website, of course, pixellegends.com with one L. That's where you find this podcast. You'll, of course, find some of the videos we've done in the past. You'll find some articles for the Game of the Year and other stuff that we do every now and then. And anything else that we post will always be up there. Ricardo's archive stream of Abzu will hopefully be going up there at some point. We've got other videos that need to go up there eventually, but that'll be all in due time. This is a part-time thing that we do on the side of our real jobs, so please be patient with us. Thank you for being patient. So yeah, if you like this podcast, go ahead and give us a review. We appreciate that, and tell your friends, tell everybody to listen to it if they like video games, or if they don't, tell them to listen to this podcast, and we'll make them like video games.
Yeah!
By showing them Criminal Girls 2.
Oh, wait, no.
Party on. Party favor.
Party on favor.
Party
favor
my favorite
on.
party. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that's about it for this week's podcast. We'll see you next time.